up, guys? For this video we're going to be installing some coilovers on the Rabbit. So what I have here is a set of used coilovers that I got from a friend of mine, and we're going to be putting these coilovers on the Rabbit and getting the height set. I'm looking to not go super crazy right away. Probably have maybe that much room, I'm not sure, but we've got some major wheel gap and it sits higher in the front than the back because of some of the stuff that I've removed from the front of the car, AC and all that other stuff. It makes a pretty significant difference. And the front struts are completely blown on this thing. Let me just demonstrate real quick. Bounce just a little bit. Yeah, it's bad. So this is exactly what I wanted. Bumper delete and lower it. Alloy wheels, you know, the snowflakes, and that's pretty much about as far as I'm going to go with, you know, modifications to the exterior. I think it's just perfect like that. I like how these cars look factory. They just need a little bit of tweaking to get them looking perfect. So I'm going to start at the front because it's going to be the most difficult one, is getting those out, and by difficult they shouldn't be hard. This car has been very easy to take apart. Things haven't been all that seized up and everything. You can see this real clean spot. The height for these was like totally different, so I just went and took the coilovers and just set them all at the exact same like amount of threads underneath of where the adjusters are. So hopefully when the car is sitting on the ground it'll sit correctly. We get this thing on jack stands, pop the wheels off, and we will begin installing these coilovers. Okay, so I've already installed the coilover on the driver's side. Literally took not even 30 minutes. These cars are so easy to take apart. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Get the wheel back on and then set it on the ground to see where the height is at. And I get this strut out, and it's literally 2 top bolts, 2 bottom bolts. You're out. That's done. So I'm going to get to that and then pop the Raceland in. And that'll be it. By the way, if you're doing this on your own, strongly recommend going to Harbor Freight, picking up at the electric corded impact if you don't have any sort of impact gun available to you. Worth the 50 bucks, go get one. That's what I'm using for this, and it is so much easier to get these old rusty bolts that have been on here forever out without breaking them with one of them. So let's just get this old strut out of here. And these are literally all the tools that you need. You're going to need a hammer and something to pound bolts out of the bottom here. So I just got this giant Allen wrench. 17 millimeter socket, which is on this little impact right now. And then one of these little baby impacts is helpful, but you don't need one. 17 mil wrench. This is actually an 11/16. Not quite the right size, but it works. Since it's not the one that I'm using to tighten stuff down anyway, it's just using it to hold a bolt still. And then I'm using a 1/2 inch for the top bolts. I think they're a 12 mil. But the 1/2 inch fit, so once again just using it. And then you don't have to take the big nut off the top of Mark 1s, it's only the Mark 2s and later that you have to do that on. But if you do need to take the top nut off, I believe it's a 21 millimeter socket or a 7/8 socket will also fit. I just happen to only be able to find my standard size sockets in there working, other than the 17. I actually have that one. And off we go. Take that one out first. Just slid right out. Don't lose this little offset washer thing because it actually has like a groove where it locks onto the top bolt. Very important, don't lose it. And then, wow, these are just coming right out. The other side they had to hammer out. So there's that bolt as well. Yeah, so much easier. And the second one I can just blast off right here. There's the nut in the washer, and now we'll get the other one off. And the strut will fall out. I'm just going to let it fall. Okay, so that's those. And now we have to free it from the knuckle, which will just require that. Your old clapped out suspension is out, and now it's time to put in some very uncomfortable suspension. Okay, so the Raceland goes in basically the same way that the old one came out. But it is kind of nice that the Raceland is a slimmer profile. There's not as much width to it, so it'll actually fit up here a little bit easier around stuff. And You may have to use your old strut tops. Keep that in mind. Since these are used, and the new struts my friend bought for his car that I got these from, his came with all new tops, so I'm just going to use the tops that are already zipped on here. But if you need the tops, you have to use the 21 or 7/8 socket and pop this top nut off, or you have to get the special tool, which is like a cutout socket so you can fit an Allen wrench on these. It's a pain in the butt. Anybody who's had a Mark 1, 2, 3, or 4 knows what I'm talking about. Now we just have to put these other 2 bolts in, and it's usually easier to put the regular bolt into the bottom first and then deal with the top camber bolt, but either one of them, really, it doesn't matter that much. I'm just going to use my little electric impact cordless because it doesn't have a lot of power, so it's perfect for just snugging these up on the bottom here. Yes, the car is on Widowmakers. I know I didn't think my big jack would fit under here after it's lowered, so sue me. Now I just put my wheels back on, and we can set it down and see what the front looks like. See how much stiffer it is and how much lower it is and how screwed up the alignment is. But I think with the positive camber maxed out, it might sit pretty much level because I'm not going super crazy. Unless it already is just slammed and it looks good, I might leave it. But I don't feel like destroying these fenders, so. This lack of studs is a little bit annoying. Europeans, I don't know why all the European cars like these bolts. I've heard from some people that they are supposed to be stronger, but they're definitely annoying. Car is on the ground and it is lower than I wanted to make it. However, I think the height it's at is actually fine. It doesn't appear to want to rub anywhere, so I'll just let you guys see what it looks like, and I guess we'll go and do the back. Well, here's the height from the front, and then the side. The wheel gap is, let's just say the wheel gap is gone. Room to steer in there still. Like, I've already turned the wheel all the way out and it didn't want to rub, so I guess that's where I'm gonna leave it, and I'm just gonna drive it there, and if it rubs a little bit I'll bring it back and raise it up. So I need to do now, since I've got the front height set, I guess, pick it back up, pull the wheels off, finish tightening all the nuts and bolts down, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we'll just go to the back, and those are a lot easier because they're literally one nut there, one nut there. There's no camber adjustment on the back, it's just a solid beam, so we don't have to worry about that. And after that, we'll be done. We'll have a lowered cabbie or rabbit, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna zip through the backs really quick. Since I've already shown you guys doing the fronts, and that's the more complicated and interesting one to watch. And yeah, we'll just get that done and let you guys see the final height difference. And that's going to be it. And I think this will be an hour-long coilover install pretty much, which is awesome. Alright, so while I was editing this video, I realized I never actually finished it. So the rabbit is not here. It is in storage right now, so I'm not going to be able to go get it back out and actually show you guys what it looks like on video finished. However, I did take some pictures of it in the driveway with the coilovers on it, so I will include those at the end of the video. I don't know how I forgot, because I ended up recording a couple other videos about the car afterwards, and it just never occurred to me that I never made an ender for it. I have no idea why or how I managed that, but I'll include the pictures that I have at the end here so you guys can see how it was sitting after getting the new coilovers on it. It looked really good, and it rode pretty well with the Racelands on it as well. Definitely not a comfortable ride, but it actually is easier to drive and a lot more stable than it was with the old blown out shocks and the worn out springs and stuff on it. And I did get it aligned at work afterwards, so it drives perfectly straight. That is all taken care of as well. The camber and the toe and all that stuff is all set and ready. So like I said, I apologize for not making an actual ender for this video. It's probably 3 or 4 weeks after I actually did all that, and I was just going to edit the video and was like, what the hell, I never actually finished it. So this will be the ender. Thank you guys very much for watching, and enjoy the clips at the end of the rabbit on the coilovers.